Okay, a conditional statement has a hypothesis and a conclusion. The hypothesis follows the word if, okay? Not 100% of the time, but usually. While the conclusion can usually be found after the word then. Just so that it's clear that it doesn't have to be an if-then form all the time. You also have sentences that begin with all, each, and every, which would also be conditional. So let me show you an example here. What I'm going to do is, when there's an if and a then in it, I typically circle those, because what comes after it, remember, what comes after the if is the hypothesis. So I'm going to also use a color here. I'm going to do green for hypothesis and orange for the conclusion. So the then we found after the conclusion we found after the then. Okay, so this was our hypothesis, and this is our conclusion. Now later I'm going to talk more about symbolic form, but for now I want you to know that usually when you are looking at your first conditional statement, you're going to call the hypothesis P and the conclusion Q. And that's going to make a lot more sense as you get further into Unit 2. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here is that this same sentence could be written several different ways without changing the meaning. The second sentence, I want you to notice that the if has moved to the middle of the sentence. People traditionally think that whatever's first is your hypothesis, but really, like I said up here, it follows the word if. So it's in the second part of the sentence here. So that means that this is my hypothesis, okay, or my P, and then the first part was actually my conclusion. Okay, so I'm going to show you too that you could write this with the word all. We can make the statement conditional by using all. When you say all Canadians love the cold, what you're saying is that if, okay, so if you wanted to write this as an if-then, you would take the all out. If someone is Canadian, so you usually have to put a little extra wordage in there. If someone is Canadian, then they love the cold. Okay, so we're looking at a equivalent, I guess you could say, an equivalent statement here. Alright, my last example here says that every Canadian loves the cold. Again, every is another word that works like all. Okay, it's your if part. If I say every Canadian, I mean 100% of Canadians. So if someone is Canadian, then they love the cold. So these are all different ways to say the exact same sentence. Remember, your hypothesis is the part that the condition is based on. Your conclusion is what will happen if the hypothesis is true. It's what will follow.